I'm sure you clicked this video because you want to know how much nurses are making in the United States nowadays. Some of my friends are making 3 digits an hour. And do you want to know which state that is? Well, you clicked at the right video because in today's episode of Pinoy Nurse Portal, we will differentiate nursing in the Philippines versus nursing in the United States. Hello, this is your nurse Rebecca for Pinoy Nurse Portal. So without further ado, let's go get right into it. All right, so let's start with the hiring process. Let's presume that you're done with your contract and you are now ready to move to a different employer. In the Philippines, if you're going to apply for a job, they require you to submit a 1x1 or 2x2 ID picture. Do you remember that? Well, in the United States, they don't need that. All they need is your resume. In the Philippines, you also need to shoulder all the clearances, NBI, police, and barangay clearance, including your medical. In the United States, they will shoulder your background check and they will also pay for your medical. Next, let's talk about the orientation. I've worked in 4 different hospitals in the Philippines, and only one of those hospitals gave me a designated preceptor, and that was at Cardinal Santos Medical Center. In the United States, in all the places that I've worked at, I always get a designated preceptor. A preceptor is another nurse that will guide you through the process of your orientation. You can ask her or him all the questions in the world. He may not have all the answers, but you have someone to guide you during your orientation. Preceptors are usually the more experienced nurses in the floor or in the unit. You will follow them on all their schedules except when they call off or except when they are called to do other job. For example, they need to work as a charge nurse on that day because they are short-staffed. Next, let's talk about the nurse-patient ratio. In the Philippines, I've worked in the ICU. They have a really good nurse-patient ratio. If the patient is intubated, you only take care of 1 patient. But if the patient is not, you can get up to 2 patients or sometimes 3 patients, but never 4 patients in the ICU. And the only time you get 3 patients is when you're short-staffed and all your 3 patients are no longer intubated and they are ready to transition to a regular floor. In the United States, ICU nurses will only get 1 patient if they are intubated. They can get up to 2 also, but never 3. And sometimes there are 2 nurses to 1 patient. And why is that? Because the patient is on CRRT. What is CRRT? That is this one over here. Okay, so what about the bedside, the med-surg floor and the tele floor? It will never be the whole floor. In the Philippines, if I remember correctly, sometimes there are only 2 nurses, 1 bedside nurse and the other one is the charge nurse. The charge nurse usually does the charting. The bedside nurse does the vital signs and take care of all the patients in terms of inserting IV and passing the medications. The difference though, in the Philippines, the family is very involved in the care of the patient. In the United States, they might be at bedside, but they are not expected to help the patient. Let's say, for example, the patient needs to use the restroom. They have to call the CNA and the nurse to help that patient. In the Philippines, it's a different story. They take care of their relatives. That's why in the Philippines, we let their relatives stay at bedside with the patient. In the United States, most hospitals at nighttime, especially, the relatives are expected to leave the floor. They can come visit anytime, but they're not allowed to stay, and they are not expected to help the patients with patient care. That's why the nurse-patient ratio in a regular floor, if it's a tele floor, usually the nurse will get the maximum of 4 patients. But if the patient has drips that need to be titrated, the ratio is 1 to 3, meaning 1 nurse to 3 patients. But on a med-surg floor, the nurse can get up to 4 patient max, sometimes when they are understaffed, 5 patients, and during the COVID time, up to 6 patients. Next, let's talk about customer service. For some reason, guys, in the Philippines, we are lacking customer service. When a patient is not feeling well and you go to a clinic or to the hospital, The staff should be nice to that patient. Imagine you are on the other side, you are the patient, and the person getting your vitals or getting your information are mean to you. What will you feel? Okay? In the United States, customer service is so big. The moment you step in a hospital, actually in any establishment, especially the hospitals, everyone is expected to be nice and to practice good customer service. Everyone should be greeted when they come in. You should at least say hi, say hello, can I help you? You will be guided. Once you come here to the United States, don't worry, you will get a preceptor, and part of the training is about customer service, because once again, customer service is a big deal in the United States. Next, let's talk about the benefits. In the Philippines, and correct me if I'm wrong, regardless of your position in the hospital, you will get the same benefit in terms of medical insurance. We don't get dental insurance, and we also don't get vision insurance. So what we do in the Philippines, if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that if you need to see a dentist or an optometrist or ophthalmologist, you have to pay them out of pocket. Not unless they are affiliated to the hospital you work at, and I think you get it for free. And once you are admitted, I was admitted once in the Philippines, and my bill was 100% covered by that hospital. In the United States, it's a different story. Your medical, dental, and vision insurance are not free. If you are employed, you can choose to get the benefits from your employer. Okay, you have to pay a premium. What is a premium? I have a lengthy discussion about medical insurance in this vlog over here, and I will link it in the description down below, because it's important that you understand what you're getting into. Okay, so once you are hired in a hospital, you can choose to get that benefits from them, but again, you have to pay a portion of it. Actually, a bigger portion of your premium is paid by your employer. So once you get sick, does that mean that your employer will pay for your bill because you are working in a hospital? The answer is no, definitely not, because you still have to pay a portion of your copay. What is copay? Well, once again, I have a lengthy discussion about this topic in this thumbnail, and again, it's linked in the description down below. Next, let's talk about the license. Once you get your license in the Philippines, do we renew it? I don't remember. Seriously. Please comment down below how often you guys renew your license in the Philippines, because the last time I worked in the Philippines was 2006. Okay, so well, anyway, in the United States, and I can only talk about Arizona because I am licensed in Arizona. Actually, I have a license in New Mexico, California, but I am practicing in Arizona. That's why I only renew my license in Arizona, and we do it every 4 years. You will get a notification. Is it free? The answer is definitely no. But is it something you cannot afford? No, it's not. A tennis shoes is more expensive than renewing your license, so it's very affordable. And now they do it online. Back in the days, in 2000, I think 10 was the first time I renewed my license in Arizona, and I had to go there physically. Nowadays, everything is online and it's very convenient. Once again, comment down below how often we renew our license in the Philippines. Next, let's talk about the paycheck. How often do we get paid? In the Philippines, we get paid every 15 days. So you get your paycheck on the 15th and on the 30th, and sometimes it's delayed. In the United States, we get paid every 2 weeks. Next, let's talk about salary. In the Philippines, let me give you an example. My niece is paid 456, or this month. I have to ask her so I can give you an example. But she only has 1 year experience as a nurse. She's a newbie. Now, I have a friend who has the same experience as mine. She works somewhere in Mindanao. Hello, my friend. I will not mention your name on my vlog, but thank you so much for sharing this info. She is making 25,000 pesos in the Philippines, and she said that is gross. That's her gross pay. Okay, well, now in the United States, how much am I making? In Arizona, nurses are making an average of this much. Okay, but let me share how much my friends who are working in Roseville, California. There are 2 of them. The wife is a nurse and the husband is also a nurse. The wife has more than 10 years experience, and she is making $98 per hour. The husband is the same age as me. and we have 20 something years of experience, and he is making $105 per hour. And do you know which state that is? I said Roseville, and it is in California. California is the highest paying state in the United States, all right? But learning that, you also have to consider, because their mortgage is $3,000. In Arizona, our mortgage is almost half of what they are paying, and my paycheck is also half of how much they are making. So it's all up to you guys which state you want to go to when you come to the United States, because I believe in the saying, it's not really how much you make, it's how much you save. The last and definitely not the least, and this is my favorite difference between working as a nurse in the Philippines and working as a nurse in the United States, and it is the value, the way nurses are valued in the United States. In the Philippines, I have never felt so belittled as a nurse as I was belittled in the Philippines. Some doctors feel like they are my boss. They are not. In the United States, you are all equal. The CNAs, RT, PT, doctor, you all have different purpose in the hospital, but you are equal in value. That's why I love working as a nurse in the United States. I love the way we are respected, and I love the way we are valued. And there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Pinoy Nurse Portal. Don't forget, if you are not a subscriber yet, please don't forget to subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and please comment down below. And please, yes, monetize na tayo, guys. Thank you so much. See you on our next vlog.